So something that you've probably seen on my channel over the last, let's call it 60 days or so, is I have a couple of real estate investors, Omar Alfaro, Jason Pritchard, Adrian Hernandez, who are all flipping properties today and flipping them quite well. Jason just had a 300K profit month. Now, how are these individuals doing it? I think there's a couple of things. One is they're staying razor sharp on their buy box, and they all are flipping below the median. So, Mr. Stephen Dow, you have a product with Velocity called ARV Pro. I think we need to hit it again. But before we get into the specifics, let's do the marketing thing so I don't get in trouble.
Although, again, I work very happily for Velocity Mortgage Capital. All the ideas and topics discussed on this channel are that of my own. So let's get it going.
So why don't you just sketch out ARV Pro in a nutshell, and then we're going to go in and dig into some real life examples on how it might be very helpful for folks. Again, when your exit is below the median. So talk about the basics and we'll dig in.
You got it. So basically it's a financing product or loan mainly made for distressed properties where you would need to finance the rehab budget into the loan and be able to kind of roll those costs into the loan to be able to do the rehab. So typically speaking, we would, for experienced flippers, cover 80% of the purchase price. And so minimum 20% down. Buyers should also have 3 months of reserves to offset the vacancy. And then typically we would cover anywhere from 80 to 100% of the rehab budget, depending upon the ARV. Obviously, I think we talked offline. Does the squeeze warrant the juice? So if there's enough juice, we'll do the squeeze kind of thing. But other than that, 650 mid FICO score. And it's still asset-based where no tax return, no peso, no W-2, no asset depletion of any kind, and no DSCR. It's a 12-month interest-only loan with no prepay. And loan amounts range from 75,000 up to around 2 million-ish.
Yeah. This is the product that most flippers should probably use. Because again, I'll use my words, not yours. If I say anything wrong, always correct me.
Sure.
But so again, if we are staying below the price point of the median for your market, my median in my market's 400. Jason Pritchard I think he did 6 or 8 deals the other month and he made 300 grand. All the exits were 400.
Shout out to Jason. Nice month.
Yeah, and he's, set up to have an even better one now. But the idea is you're going to buy a junker. You call it a distressed property. A lot of folks look at a distressed property in today's market. Hey, that's not going to pass FHA or VA. We're not doing that. We are buying a junker on purpose, right?
Diamond in the rough. Exactly. Diamond in the rough.
And then what will happen is you're going to be buying that at a discount, right? If your exit's 400, you think a remodel is 60, which brings you to 340, you're going to buy it at 210 or 215, or you're going to have plenty of margin. That's the magic of this business. I think in today's real estate market where below the median is, scarce and luxury is flooded, you got to protect yourself by the exit. And you also got to have leverage. I mean, you kicked my butt. I think it was 6 months ago or so when I did a couple of flips. I did them with cash, man. I got lazy, right? Wrote the check, paid the remodel, made a bunch of money. But then we looked at how I used my capital. Yeah. And I was like, what a freaking idiot I was.
Well, I mean, you could have applied that into other, performing assets instead. And
I could have done 10
my money for the short term. Yeah. It would have been, instead of that 30 or all cash, it would have been like 10% down here, 10% down here, 10% down. So you would have flipped like 5 or 6 properties. I mean, theoretically, instead of just that 1 or 2. But
no, I did the math. I mean, again, right? So again, I got pissed off. The doomers were saying it wasn't possible. I like, screw you. I'm going to go prove it. We bought 2 out of MLS.
Exactly. I remember you were on the mission. So you're just like, okay, look what I can do. And then you're just like, yeah.
But then, I celebrate. You and I do our show.
Right.
And you're like, why'd you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I was bored and lazy. And then like you and I did the math in a past episode and I could have done 6, 7 of these, right? So I did 2 because that was all the cash I had, but I could have done 6 or 7. I could have taken my 90 grand with financing, with carrying costs, with closing costs, and probably made 250 just by, and had less out of pocket cash. It was just,
right.
It was eye opening. It was
Well,
eye-opening.
again, this is why I'm on this channel. This is why you do what you do, so that people are aware of what options are available. So that's why I think it's just at the very least, drop a dime, give me a call just to kind of
Yeah.
scratch the surface as to what you might be looking to do. If there's a way that I can help, by all means. If not, usually I can either point you in the right direction or just tell you straight up, don't waste your time with me. If you can qualify for this or this or this, that you should go to first. If that doesn't happen for you, Uncle Steve's still around for Plan B. But otherwise, yeah, I'll at least kind of like, give you a nice fast yes next to I mean, excuse me, a fast note next to a yes. But outside of that, yeah, I think it's worth a phone call.
Yeah, I think every pro, I think again, I still think there's opportunity there. It's really scarce. I think as if mortgage rates go to 8 or 9%, there's
Hmm.
going to be more of these junkers on the market. Folks like Jason and Adrian and
Hmm.
Ty and all these other folks who are doing mailers, they're going to get off market, but don't
Right.
sleep on market fixers. The
Oh, no,
the
no, no
uglier they
doubt.
are, they're there.
And then in a lot of cases, less competition. A lot of cases, very motivated seller because they know
Yeah.
what they got. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just doing the work and you'll it's amazing sometimes when there's people coming to me with these financing, these deals, and I'm like, whoa, where'd you get this? And they've been working on it for months or years or whatever it is, but I'm still doing pretty well. I mean, as a company, we're still funding pretty near the levels as we did almost last year to some degree. So
Wow.
just
Wow.
running more leaner, meaner kind of as far as operations and sales. But outside of that, we're yeah, we're still doing pretty well. So the business is still out there. It's just having to
Yeah.
go search for it. It's not going to just fall in your lap. And sometimes you just got to be creative because it
Yeah.
may not start this way, but then it ends up this way by just kind of like knowing what pieces to move on the chessboard and making the right moves based upon those pieces. So yeah, I think with the fix and flip, there's a lot of room. I mean, it just depends if you're doing the right work and if you've got a good crew, you know what I mean? Keep your overhead low, the cost low, and just, I think I'm seeing it. We
Yeah.
do quite a bit of that type of business. So, yeah, anyway, I don't want to get too ranty.
Yeah.
I just know that
The,
it's working.
at the end of the day, folks, if you're one of those folks out there, you're looking at junkers, you're not sure how to get them financed, reach
Mhm.
out to Mr. Stephen Dow. Again, I love the fact that it's either yes or no, no maybes. I really
Yep.
appreciate that. How should they reach
Mhm.
out if they want to just, engage in a conversation?
Email is always the best at sdao@velocitymortgage.com. In the subject line, please put the acronym ORAAT, stands for one rental at a time, just to make it past the firewall. A lot of times things get stuck in quarantine. Body of the email, brief description, the basic main components of what I need to know, current purchase price, in the case of a refi, the current as is value, then your rehab budget, and the overall ARV, your mid FICO score, and if you're experienced or not. That's mainly the three things, and obviously location to make sure I lend there. But within that piece of information, I can give you a pretty exact quote. I mean, less than 5-10 minutes of talking to you on the phone. You know what I mean? So at least I think it's once a quick phone call. If there's something we can do, and if the numbers make sense, then we can typically close in a very short period of time, a little over 2 weeks or so. So we can make it happen pretty quick.
There you go. Again, sdow at velocitymortgage.com. 5 letters in the title, ORAAT. Thanks, buddy.